Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your girl Cassie with the realest, the rawest, and the most savage tea on these internet streets. And baby, when I say today's story is straight out of a BT soap opera with a splash of love and hip-hop energy, I mean, grab your popcorn cause this ain't just gossip, this is a bombshell you won't believe. So get this. Kodak Black's ex-girlfriend just took to social media and dropped a series of explosive voice notes, screenshots, and allegations that have sent shockwaves through the entire hip-hop community. Fans are shook, blogs are scrambling, and even some of Kodak's closest people are going silent. Chilly. What was said cannot be unheard. She claims there's a secret Kodak's been hiding for years, one that could completely change how fans see him. And now, we're not talking about just another cheating scandal or a messy baby mama fight. We're talking about a hidden betrayal, industry manipulation, and a jaw-dropping connection to someone Kodak once called family. And y'all, the receipts she brought with her? Baby, they're giving federal energy, okay. Alleged text messages, hidden phone calls, and a cryptic video that's got people questioning, was Kodak really who we thought he was? Or was the whole image a carefully constructed lie? Now here's where it gets even crazier. She didn't just post and dip. Oh no, sis went live for 47 minutes, straight, sobbing, ranting, and calling out names that had commenters screaming. And guess who popped up in the chat? A certain rapper who's been beefing with Kodak since 2023. And what he said. That sent this whole situation into a downward spiral. Stay locked in, because we're breaking down everything. The hidden drama, the savage clapbacks, the messy reactions, and a dark truth nobody saw coming. This ain't just tea, this is a whole pot boiling over. Let's get into it. Aight, so boom. It all started late last night around 1:42 a.m. when Kodak Black's ex, Jazzy Renee, decided to go lev on Instagram with no makeup on, bonnet barely hanging on, and eyes puffy like she had been crying for hours. You already know when a woman hops on IG live like that, it's not just another breakup rant, it's a declaration of war. And the second that notification hit the timeline, Jazzy Renee is live. Over 40,000 people tuned in within the first 8 minutes. Celebs were in the chat lurking, burner accounts were everywhere, and you could feel the tension before she even said a word. And when she finally did, whew, the first sentence out her mouth had everybody clutching their phones. Y'all want to know the real reason me and Bill broke up? Y'all think it's just cause he cheated? Nah, I've been quiet for too long, and now I gotta speak. That alone had fans in the comments dropping eye emojis, question marks, and say what? Cause let's be real, like we all saw Kodak and Jazzy looking booed up just months ago, posting matching outfits, family vibes, date nights. So this sudden nuclear live wasn't just random. Then she dropped the first bombshell. Kodak been messing with one of his own artist's baby mamas. And I ain't talking recent, I'm talking since 2021. And everybody in the camp knew. I got proof, receipts, voice notes, DMs. I'll upload them if I have to. The chat exploded, fans were shook. But people started guessing names. She didn't say who, yet. But she hinted that the artist was someone Kodak helped get signed in 2020 and called his lil bro. That instantly narrowed it down to like 3 people. Then sis started crying. Not the cute cry either. It was the type of cry that come from betrayal deep in your soul. She said, "Do y'all know what it's like to be laying next to somebody for years and they lie to your face like it's nothing? I held that man down through everything. Through the rehab, the jail stints, the beefs, the losses, the industry trying to blackball him, and this man was sneaking around with her?" She wiped her face with a towel and shook her head. "And I only found out because I saw her name pop up on the CarPlay while we was driving his Benz last month." Now that right there had the whole internet screaming. You know, CarPlay snitches harder than the IRS. And she said when she asked him who it was, Kodak told her it was business. But she ain't stupid. She waited till he fell asleep and went through his messages. What she found, screenshots that allegedly showed heart emojis, cash apps, and a voice memo of the woman saying, "Don't let your girl find out about us." But it gets wilder. Jazzy said she confronted the woman directly. She didn't say names, but she said, she's a stylist. Yes, she got 2 kids and she used to do my hair. So imagine my shock when I find out this chick was in my house when I wasn't home. You could hear the heartbreak in her voice. Fine, this wasn't just about cheating. It was betrayal by somebody she trusted. And guess what? 20 minutes into the live, the woman she was talking about, let's call her Taya, went on her Instagram story with a shady black screen and the text, "A hit doggone holler." Baby, that was the match that lit the fire. Next thing we know, Jazzy is full on spiraling. She says, "This man made me look dumb out here. I had girls DMing me for months saying he was in they inbox, but I believed him over them. He told me they were clout chasers. Turns out he the one chasing everything in a skirt." Then she leaned into the camera and whispered, "You remember that time he lost his phone? He didn't. I found it under the seat in my car. And y'all, what I saw on there would get him canceled." The chat went nuts. People started screen recording, reposting clips, tagging the shade room, say cheese, candidly Cassie, everybody. This was no longer just relationship drama. It was a full-on expose, but Jazzy wasn't done. She took a sip of Casamigos straight out the bottle and said, "Oh, and I ain't even told y'all the part about the contract setup yet." That's when everybody leaned in. She said Kodak was using her name to funnel money to a third party so he could hide expenses from his label. She claimed he was putting things under my name. Cars, studio equipment, even paying off one of his old cases, and told me it was just for now. I trusted him. Now the IRS knocking on my door. You see the games these rappers play. Hold up. Financial fraud. On top of the cheating, Twitter went crazy. Hashtags like hashtag free Jazzy and hashtag Kodak exposed started trending. People were dragging him, all accusing him of being manipulative and calling for his label to drop him. Meanwhile, Kodak's team? Silent, not a peep, no statements, no denials, not even a vague tweet. But guess who did speak up? Sniper Gang affiliate Rico Black, the same one who unfollowed Kodak last month. He jumped into Jazzy's leave in the comments and wrote, "I told you sis, bro been moving foul." And then, get this, he pinned a comment saying, "Told y'all he smashed his manager's chick too." At this point, Jazzy broke down. "Y'all don't get it. I gave this man my 20s. I thought we were building a future. Now I'm just some crazy ex on live looking bitter. But I got nothing else to lose. I stayed quiet to protect him, but he ain't protect me." And just when we thought it couldn't get any more emotional, she dropped the final bomb of the night. Y'all wonder why I disappeared off social media for a month? Cause I had a miscarriage. And guess who wasn't there? Guess who was laid up with Tia while I was in the ER? She didn't even have to say Kodak's name. The silence in the chat said it all. Emotions ran high, fans were in tears, influencers started going live to give their own take, and even celebrities low-key started reacting. Bia liked a shady tweet. Sukihana posted a cryptic video saying, "Protect women who love too hard." And then, as if this was a scripted show, the screen on Jazzy's live suddenly froze and cut off. Boom, gone, just like that. Was it a glitch? Did Kodak's team report the live, or did she cut it on purpose? Nobody knew, but within an hour, clips were all over TikTok, commentary videos were popping up, and people were already taking sides. The family was left divided. Some of Kodak's cousins even unfollowed him. One even tweeted, "Damn bro, you made your bed. Now lay in it." This wasn't just messy, this was legacy threatening. Fans were questioning everything they knew about Kodak. Was the street image real, or was he just a manipulator behind the scenes? And the worst part, Jazzy's silence since the live ended. No follow-up post, no story, just one tweet hours later that said, "Y'all ain't heard nothing yet. We're just getting started." The very next morning, the internet woke up in a frenzy. Blogs, YouTube channels, TikTokers, and even mainstream outlets started running with the story. Kodak, Black's ex exposes shocking betrayal. Jazzy Renee drops bombs on IG Live. Rapper accused of using X to hide money. It was like the whole hip-hop world stopped to watch the train wreck unfold. And just when people thought maybe this was gonna die down like most scandals do in a 24-hour cycle, boom, Jazzy came back, this time with receipts. And baby, they were louder than a diss track at Rolling Loud. She didn't go live again. Oh no, this time she came prepared with a 7-slide Instagram carousel full of blurred out screenshots, timestamps, and voice notes. Slide 1 was a screenshot of a Cash App transaction for $3,500 labeled for silence. Slide 2 was a text thread, half redacted, showing someone saved as Tia, sending Kodak heart emojis and saying, "Oh, can't wait to see you again. Your girl don't suspect nothing, right?" Then there was a voice memo. That one hit hard. It was a woman's voice, clearly intoxicated, laughing and saying, "She really thinks you at the studio, huh?" We bold as hell for this. Fans instantly started analyzing the voice, comparing it to old clips of Kodak's stylist, and the internet practically did a CSI investigation overnight. Slide 4, a pic of Jazzy's ER wristband with the date and time from her alleged miscarriage. That one silenced a lot of people. The comments shifted from shady to sympathetic, with even some former doubters saying, "Okay, nah, this is heartbreaking. She didn't deserve this." Slide 5 was the most cryptic, a legal-looking document half blurred, with her name and an EIN number on it. The caption read, "He told me it was just for the business. Now I'm the one being audited." That slide alone triggered a wave of reaction videos, with finance influencers explaining how people get caught in those schemes. One lawyer on TikTok even said, "If this is real, Kodak might be looking at serious tax fraud exposure." But the most viral slide? Slide 6, a blurry photo taken from a security camera, low angle, timestamp 2:13 a.m., showing what looked like Kodak and a woman sneaking through a back gate. You couldn't see the woman's face clearly, but the comments lit up. "That's Tia's weave. You can tell that's her walk. Same bag she had on in her story last week." People were connecting dots like detectives. Kodak's fanbase went into full DEFCON mode. Some die-hard supporters tried to say the photos were fake. Others claimed Jazzy was clout chasing, but too many things were lining up. Old interviews started resurfacing. Moments where Kodak would jokingly say, "I be getting into too much," and "the IRS can't catch me." People were reading those clips differently now. They weren't punchlines anymore. They were possible confessions. But then Kodak finally responded, kinda. He didn't post a statement, didn't go live. Instead, he posted a muted video of him driving a Rolls Royce, eating crab legs with his shirt off, and laughing hysterically while the caption said, "I ain't never stressing over no hater, I'm rich baby." Fans were torn. Some said he looked unbothered, others said it reeked of guilt. And guess who was in the passenger seat? A mystery woman with red nails and the same tattoo Tia allegedly has on her left wrist. Yeah, the drama didn't stop. It escalated. By that afternoon, Jazzy's name was trending nationwide. And in a wild twist no one expected, her mother posted a cryptic message on Facebook that read, "When a woman gives everything to a man and he turns around and humiliates her, just know God don't sleep. My daughter deserves peace." People were shocked. Now it wasn't just an ex dragging Kodak, it was her family, and it didn't end there. Jazzy's younger brother, who had never spoken publicly before, went live from his college dorm and said, "Man, Kodak fake. He used to call me Lil Bro. Now I see he was just trying to control my sister. Ain't no real man do that." The emotional impact was undeniable. Fans who had followed Kodak's rise from the streets to the spotlight were now questioning his character. Some influencers started unfollowing him. Said one makeup brand that partnered with his merch dropped out quietly. Meanwhile, Jazzy began receiving messages of support from fellow artists. Coi Leray commented a heart. Asian Doll posted, "Been there. Stay strong, queen." Even JT from City Girls liked a tweet that said, "Men be the downfall of the women who love them the most." And just when the buzz started cooling, another twist popped up like an aftershock. An anonymous blog dropped a tip saying Kodak had allegedly paid hush money to not one, but two other women in the last year, one of them allegedly being a background vocalist who toured with him in 2022. Within hours, someone claiming to be the vocalist dropped a TikTok saying, "I ain't naming names, but if Jazzy wants solidarity, I got some tea too." The layers just kept stacking. Kodak's team finally broke their silence with a short statement through his publicist. Mr. Capri denies any and all defamatory claims made against him. "We ask that the public refrain from spreading misinformation." But by now, it was too late. The court of public opinion had already spoken. Commenters dragged the statement, calling it weak, gaslighting, and typical PR spin. Meanwhile, Jazzy announced she was taking a break from social media to heal and recenter. But before she logged off, she posted one final clip, soft piano music in the background, a black and white video montage of her and Kodak through the years, smiling, hugging, her in the studio, him kissing her forehead. The caption? I didn't want it to end like this, but now I see the truth. Thank you for the lessons. Or even if they came with scars. It hit like a gut punch. Fans flooded the comments with love. You a real one. He lost a queen. We ride with you. But not everyone was sympathetic. Some accused Jazzy of clout chasing and trying to ride Kodak's name. A few influencers went on podcasts saying, why she wait until after the breakup to expose all this? One male podcaster tried to flip the script, claiming she was just bitter and trying to destroy a man's career cause he moved on. But the backlash was swift. Women called him out, saying, so we just supposed to stay silent while getting betrayed? Even men started chiming in, saying, nah bro, if she really helped him hold down business, she got every right to speak. It wasn't just a breakup anymore. It had become a cultural debate. Trust, betrayal, loyalty, fame, manipulation. All the themes you see in real life drama and reality TV were playing out across social media like a movie in real time. Twitter spaces were filled with thousands of listeners dissecting the situation. YouTubers were pulling in millions of views with reaction videos. And Kodak, still silent, still smiling, still acting unbothered. But the industry was watching, and so were the fans. As the story kept unfolding, a new wave of rumors began circulating. Someone on Reddit posted a blurry photo allegedly showing Kodak at a party with the same stylist from Jazzy's Live. A shady tweet went viral that read, the real ones in the industry been knew Kodak messy. Sis just confirmed it. Industry insiders even started whispering that major brands were pulling back from him quietly. It's hard to say what's next. Will Kodak respond directly? Will Jazzy drop even more receipts? Will the IRS actually investigate? All we know is, this ain't over, not by a long shot. As the chaos continued to spin out of control, it became clear that this wasn't just a one-night scandal. It was turning into a full-blown career crisis. And just when folks thought the dust might finally settle, a leaked audio surfaced on a gossip blog, allegedly capturing Kodak Black on a phone call with an unknown woman, sounding frantic. His voice was low, tense, and he said, man, I told her not to go public. I told her to chill. She gon' mess around and ruin everything we built. They watching me now. Label already asking questions. That clip blew up within an hour. It was reposted on every major platform, and fans started questioning, was he talking about Jazzy? Oh, was he really trying to silence her? Or worse, was there something bigger at stake? And that's when everything shifted, because a second voice in the background of the call said something chilling. That's why we paid her, so why's she still talking? That one sentence triggered an internet explosion. Suddenly, it wasn't just fans gossiping, it was activists, journalists, and watchdog groups raising eyebrows. People started wondering if this was more than cheating, more than betrayal. Was Kodak Black involved in something darker, something deeper, something that could bring legal consequences? The hashtag Justice for Jazzy began trending. Women's rights advocates on Twitter started analyzing her posts, pointing out patterns of manipulation, financial abuse, and emotional control. They said this wasn't just tea. This was a real case study in how powerful men allegedly use women, then discard them when it's convenient. A viral post read, y'all laugh when women cry until it turns into a true crime documentary. That post alone got over 500,000 likes. The mood had changed. This wasn't gossip anymore. This was serious. Meanwhile, fans were still in detective mode. Someone found an old live stream from 2023 where Jazzy had joked, if I ever go missing, just know it was someone y'all streaming on Spotify. At the time, people laughed. Now, people were calling it a red flag. The theories got wilder. Reddit was flooded with threads claiming Kodak had been keeping multiple women on NDA agreements, paying them to stay silent using burner phones to avoid detection. One former tour manager anonymously claimed, there's stuff y'all don't even know. The things I seen, if Jazzy talks more, it's gonna get ugly for a lot of people. And then the unthinkable happened. Jazzy's old best friend, who had gone quiet during the drama, suddenly broke her silence. She went live from her car, face beat, nails fresh, and voice shaking. I ain't want to get involved in this, but I can't stay quiet no more. Me and Jazzy stopped being friends over this same Kodak situation last year. She found out I was talking to him too. That was like a nuclear bomb to the storyline. The chat exploded. People screamed betrayal, double-cross, snake behavior. So you was sleeping with her man behind her back? One viewer typed. The friend paused, lips trembling. I ain't proud of it, but I thought he really cared about me. He told me him and Jazzy was on a break. He told me she was toxic. I believed him. She said it started as casual flirting, but soon Kodak started flying her out, buying her things, telling her she was different. And then, get this, she said he made her sign an NDA too. He said it was just standard business. I didn't think anything of it, but now I feel like we was all being played, all of us. She even claimed she saw texts on his phone once from another woman, a singer based in Atlanta. He kept them all spinning, made us all feel special, but we was just pieces in his game. The betrayal hit deep. Jazzy's fans rallied behind her even harder. People called out the best friend for her disloyalty, but most of the anger stayed fixed on Kodak. At this point, even his die-hard fans were starting to backpedal. One viral tweet said, "I grew up on Kodak, but if all this is true, but I can't support that no more." His Spotify numbers started dipping. A brand partnership for a sneaker collab got mysteriously postponed. The pressure was mounting. Still, Kodak said nothing. No apology, no statement, no acknowledgement of the storm he was at the center of. But the silence was loud. It was starting to feel like either he was hiding something or he didn't care at all. And then, out of nowhere, another woman came forward. This time, a former assistant named Mariah, who had worked with Kodak during his 2021 tour. She posted a TikTok saying, "Seeing all this unfold just brings back hella memories. I was scared to speak, but I'm tired of carrying this weight." She claimed that during the tour, Kodak often made uncomfortable advances, tried to get her to kick it in his hotel room, and once yelled at her when she declined. I was just there to do my job," she said. But I felt like I was always walking on eggshells. He used power to intimidate. Her story quickly went viral. Commenters began saying the same thing over and over again. This isn't just a messy breakup. This is a pattern. And the deeper people dug, the more disturbing things they found. Court documents resurfaced from years back. Old lyrics that once sounded like punchlines now read like confessions. Former collaborators spoke out anonymously, saying they'd heard rumors for years, but didn't want to jeopardize their own careers. The narrative was changing. This wasn't just drama, it was a reckoning. Then, after days of silence, Kodak finally posted a cryptic message to his story. "Y'all love to see a king fall, but I'm protected by God. The truth always wins." No mention of Jazzy, no remorse. Just deflection. People weren't having it. Commenters dragged him, saying, "God don't protect narcissists." Where's the accountability? You playing victim now? And Jazzy? She remained quiet, completely off social media. Her profile picture went black. Fans speculated she was preparing legal action. Some even claimed she had hired a lawyer. TMZ began sniffing around the story. A well-known journalist tweeted, "Just spoke to Jazzy Renee's legal team. There's more coming. Stay tuned." The tension was palpable. Meanwhile, the cultural impact was massive. Podcasts were debating the case. Think pieces were written about power, silence, and exploitation in the music industry. It became more than just Kodak versus Jazzy. It became a symbol of something bigger, something systemic. Jazzy became a voice for women who'd felt silenced, lied to, used. And as more voices joined the chorus, the industry started to shift. Quiet conversations were happening behind closed doors, labels reviewing contracts, managers distancing themselves, people suddenly remembering past behavior they once laughed off. Kodak's world was closing in, slowly, silently, like a storm forming over calm water. He may not have seen it yet, but fans could feel it. Something was coming, and whether or not he was ready, this time, the internet wasn't gonna let it slide. Not this time. Just when the internet thought the chaos had peaked, another shockwave hit. Jazzy Renee officially lawyered up. Early that morning, her Instagram bio quietly changed to a link tree with one new link at the top. Legal representation, inquiries only. And baby, the blogs were on it immediately. Within an hour, a high-profile women's rights attorney reposted one of Jazzy's old IG lives with the caption, Time's up, let's talk accountability. The internet went into meltdown. That's when people knew this wasn't just about drama anymore. This was about justice. Then came the letter, a cease and desist allegedly sent to Kodak's team and several gossip outlets, warning them not to delete, suppress, or manipulate any communications between Kodak and Jazzy, especially regarding finances and personal misconduct. Word on the street was that Jazzy's legal team believed evidence had already been tampered with, and they weren't playing no games. You could feel the energy shift. It wasn't just emotional anymore. It was legal, and Kodak, still no statement, still posting like nothing's happening. A clip even surfaced of him laughing with his homies in a studio, mocking Jazzy's voice and saying, "She just mad cause she ain't get a ring." The backlash was swift. TikTok was on fire. One creator with over 4 million followers stitched that video and said, "You know what's crazy? Women get emotionally wrecked, publicly humiliated, dragged, and when they speak up, they still the villain." That video alone racked up 12 million views in 2 days. Suddenly the comment sections on Kodak's pages started looking very different. No more fire emojis, no more W Kodak. Now it was flooded with, "You're done. This ain't it. Ain't nobody laughing with you." Meanwhile, Jazzy had gone completely silent. No new posts, no lives, no tweets. But behind the scenes, sources were claiming her legal team was building a timeline of everything. They were gathering receipts, screenshots, Cash App records, text threads, deleted DMs, burner phone messages, and even audio files. One source close to her inner circle claimed that one of the worst pieces of evidence hadn't even dropped yet. A voice recording that allegedly captures Kodak admitting to putting shot in her name to keep his hands clean. If that's true, that's potentially criminal. But here's where things got messier than a VH1 reunion show. A third woman came forward, and this time, it wasn't just a side chick, a stylist, or a friend. It was a label intern. That's right, a 22-year-old named Kayla M went on a live stream with a popular podcast host and dropped bombs that left jaws on the floor. According to her, she met Kodak at a studio session in 2022 and was offered mentorship under his label. He said he could teach me the business side of the game. I thought it was a huge opportunity, she said. But within weeks, she said Kodak started texting her at night, offering her expensive gifts and inviting her to private dinners. When she declined, the tone changed. He stopped inviting me to sessions. I got iced out. She dropped screenshots too. Messages allegedly from Kodak that read, "You can get more than an internship if you play your cards right, and don't act brand new. I know what you want." People were disgusted. The power dynamic was too clear. Fans began saying this wasn't just toxic, it was predatory. Reddit threads titled "Kodak Black's Hidden Exploitation Ring" started popping up. Some people even speculated that there might be dozens of women with similar stories, just afraid to speak. And then, out of nowhere, the IRS stepped in. That's right. A report dropped from a verified journalist saying Kodak Black's financial dealings were under internal review due to suspicious activity flagged in 2023. Suddenly, the allegations of putting assets in Jazzy's name didn't seem like drama anymore. They looked like a criminal pattern. Twitter went insane. Everyone started posting that meme of the judge slamming the gavel with "lock him up" as the caption. Kodak's legal team scrambled. Finally, a short statement was released. Mr. Capri maintains his innocence and has fully complied with all federal and state laws. Any personal allegations made online are baseless and defamatory. But it was too little, too late. People saw it for what it was. Damage control. Not once did the statement address Jazzy by name. Not once did it offer empathy, clarification, or even a denial of specifics. It was cold, robotic, PR 101, and fans weren't buying it. Then came the docuseries teaser. No lie, out of nowhere, a verified YouTube channel with over 1 million subs posted a cinematic teaser titled "Jazzy Renee, the Silenced Queen." It was a moody, dramatic montage of her old photos, live clips, audio snippets, and a voiceover of her saying, "I stayed quiet to protect him, but who was protecting me?" It ended with a release date next Friday. The internet lost its mind. People were already setting their reminders, calling it the surviving R. Kelly of Gen Z. It was about to get even bigger. Kodak's camp allegedly tried to block the video, claiming copyright violations for clips of his music playing in the background. But the producers edited it and reposted without delay. And it became clear this was happening with or without his permission. By this point, mainstream news caught wind. Complex, Rolling Stone, The Root, even CNN Entertainment posted coverage. Headlines like "Rapper accused of financial and emotional abuse by ex and multiple women" hit every platform. Kodak's label reportedly pulled his marketing for an upcoming single. Insiders whispered that 2 major festivals were reviewing his placement. It was happening fast and the walls were closing in. But guess who finally broke the silence with Jazzy? Her father. That's right. A middle-aged man with a calm, fatherly voice posted a TikTok saying, "My daughter isn't clout chasing, she's surviving. We watched her cry night after night. We begged her to leave, but love makes you blind sometimes. I raised a strong woman." Oh, and we standing behind her all the way. The internet melted. Comments poured in. Give this man a show. He said what needed to be said. Real fathers protect their daughters. Even men in the industry started to speak up. One rapper tweeted, "If you a real one, you hold your girl down. You don't break her, then act like a victim." It was a massive shift. Kodak went from being seen as a misunderstood genius to being viewed as a calculated manipulator who thought he could play everyone and win. But the final twist? An ex-business partner of Kodak's dropped a Bombshell podcast episode. He didn't name names, but the implications were clear. He said he once walked in on a conversation where Kodak and a team member were joking about rotating women in the studio. He claimed Kodak once bragged, "Man, I got girls thinking they bosses, but they really just part of the playlist." That quote went viral faster than a Kanye tweet. It was clipped, captioned, and reposted everywhere. The damage? Irreversible. Now fans are demanding accountability. Brands are cutting ties. Women are organizing around Jazzy, praising her bravery. She's gone from Kodak's ex to a movement, from Instagram lives to lawsuits, from heartbreak to headlines. She didn't just spill tea, she started a reckoning. And Kodak, whether he likes it or not, the world is watching. And there you have it. The truth, the drama, the betrayal, and the start of what's already being called one of the biggest exposés in modern hip-hop relationship history. From mysterious late-night texts and secret NDAs to financial games and emotional devastation. Jazzy Renee didn't just spill tea, she brought the whole boiling pot. And now, the industry's shaking, fans are choosing sides, and Kodak Black is facing a firestorm he can't just laugh off in a Rolls Royce. But the story ain't over, not by a long shot. We've still got questions. Is Jazzy really preparing a lawsuit? Will more women come forward? Could this actually spark a legal investigation into Kodak's business practices? And what about that alleged voice memo? Is there more evidence just waiting to drop? You already know the internet is digging, and receipts don't stay hidden for long, so now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Jazzy a queen finally reclaiming her power, or is this all part of a deeper, darker hip-hop cover-up? Is Kodak the villain in this story? Or just another rapper caught in the flames of fame and fallout? Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss the next chapter in this wild ride. You already know we're watching this story like a Netflix series in real time, and every day is a new episode. Until next time, stay woke, stay loud, and stay tuned, cause the streets are talking and the truth is louder than ever.